Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are revisiting a brand that I have not reviewed in a while. We are reviewing Lazuli label. So Lazuli is well known for their Scrunch Sculpt seamless leggings. These leggings are a seamless legging with a scrunch and then a compressive area below the glutes to really just like lift up. They're like the ultimate BBL leggings. I have reviewed those before in my best scrunch leggings for the glutes video. I did that review last year, so I will link that down below. But today we have some different leggings from them. With the Sculpt leggings, I just felt like the ribbed area below the glutes could slide down easily and was really hard to get in exactly the right place. Like any underglute contour, everyone's body is a little bit different, so it's hard to get it exactly in the right place, and then when you do get it in the right place, it's hard to make it stay. So today we are trying their new Scrunch seamless leggings that do not have a under booty sculpt area, as well as a non-seamless legging from them. I feel like everything from them is like very basically named. Like it's hard for me to even keep track because it all kind of sounds the same. So we have these Scrunch seamless essential leggings. That's the new scrunch legging without the under booty compression area. And then we have the minimal V-seam basic leggings. I also have some bras, a jacket, shorts, and a dress. They recently launched dresses as well. I personally have not had the best luck with Lazuli pieces fitting me very well in the past. Usually the body of their leggings is pretty compressive and then the waist is a little bit loose. So in the past, they have not been my favorite for that reason, but we're gonna give these a try today, see if anything's changed. All of the seamless is launching on March 21st. Another thing that annoys me about the brand is that I should be able to go to your Instagram and find the launch date and time. And I go to their Instagram, it just says next launch 21st of March. I go to all of these posts. Quick reminder for the 21st. No date, see you the 21st of March. Where's the time? They're based in the UK, so the 21st might not even be the 21st for me. And yet I don't see a single time. And I don't know if they even sent me a time before. So your guess is as good as mine. And without further ado, let's get into it. One thing I do like about Lazuli is that they are always coming out with more innovative designs. Like that under booty contour of the Sculpt Seamless is very unique. I don't see that anywhere else. And there are so many activewear brands recently that you guys will ask me to review some, and then I go on the website and it's just the same stuff you see literally everywhere, and I just don't think the world needs that many new activewear brands unless you're going to be bringing me something either especially unique or especially affordable. Like, you know, don't waste my time. So they did actually send these to me. They occasionally send me stuff. I don't even think I have a code with them. They sent me some of the last stuff and I hadn't even talked about it yet, so I just figured it was a good time. But this should be said that this is not sponsored. All opinions are my own, as always. So these Scrunch seamless leggings are coming in a bunch of colors. So this is powder blue and carbon gray, mineral gray, which is a lighter taupe, and then dusty olive. So they definitely focus mostly on the neutrals, and I definitely see them bringing back this powder blue quite a lot, which I love a nice blue, but you know, we're kind of in sad beige era right now and I would love to see more color from them. I do have a hot pink set from the Sculpt Seamless though. All right, first up, we have the Scrunch Seamless Essential Leggings. So I have a size small in everything today. So these have a ribbed waistband with 2 levels of compression. The body of the legging is a seamless, but it's a little bit more of a durable seamless. It's almost like a performance. So it has that sleek performance feel, but it also has some marl. It's just a little bit thicker than something like an Alphalete Amplify seamless. I like that it has that marl in the fabric as well though. I just think it adds a little bit of texture without being too in your face. Definitely need to measure the inseam on these, but they do have a good amount of vertical stretch, so I didn't find the length to be an issue. And then we have the scrunch in the back. So there's a little bit of a ribbed section that goes down into a little widow's peak detail. And then the scrunch is quite small and delicate, so it's not super in your face. But I did wear these to the gym today, and we'll get into it in the try on, but I just don't feel like their fabrics are stretchy enough. And then we have the crotch gusset. So let's do a close up. So here is the double thickness waistband. You can see the scrunch is just a collection of little stitches here, and it's a little bit thinner. And then from launch one, they have had amazing logos. They have the tonal silicone logo in the front left, so subtle. And I love a subtle logo. Nothing ruins a pair of leggings like a giant in your face logo that no one asked for. So I love that they do this subtle branding. Let's try these on. So I wore these leggings to the gym today, and I literally have like little, what is it called? Like wear marks on my hands from struggling to pull these up so much. So I would just like to show you how difficult these are to get on. And then they still aren't too small. I'll show you. It's similar to the Sculpt Seamless. So this is where we're at so far. And just inching them up the legs, you can just see they just like don't have enough stretch. So I'm just trying to inch these up, and it's just not as easy as a normal seamless that has a good amount of stretch. And literally like my hands are getting sore from this. And then in the back, you have to have enough fabric to be able to pull these up the glutes. So it's really important to get a lot of fabric up the legs. You can see it's getting harder and harder to get that up. So I just don't really need the act of getting my leggings on to be harder than my workout, you know? So give me a second while I catch my breath. We're back in business. Here are the leggings. They sit a little bit lower for me than the shorts did. And I just feel so much tightness in the knees here that it just gets a little bit uncomfortable almost. So this fabric just really needs more stretch to me. I love that it's durable. It's sleek performance. You're not going to get any snags, any catches on this fabric. Like, it's a really nice performance material. But if you're going to do a scrunch legging or a seamless legging, I just feel like it needs a little bit more stretch so that you can really get that fabric around the glutes. I also feel like having extra stretch allows the scrunch to stay in place better. I did feel like these didn't stay super wedged up the cheeks throughout my workout, and this is a scrunch, so that's where it's meant to be. Anyways, I still think they deserve a high on the booty scale. It's still flattering. I really like that they experimented with getting rid of that thigh compression area that can be really hard to place. These aren't going to be as flattering on the glutes as the sculpt seamless, but if you're looking for something a little bit less in your face, I think these are still good. I like that the scrunch is very thin and delicate. It still gives you that separation, but it's, again, not as in your face, not as obvious. The waistband does sit above the glutes. I do feel like it just is a little bit low in the back, like it keeps wanting to slide down a little bit because I can't get quite enough fabric around the glutes because of the lack of stretch. So overall, they definitely did perform during my workout, but I just wish there was a little bit more stretch. Compression, honestly, is medium to high because of the lack of stretch for these. And it's not like I could size up, because if I did size up, I already have a little bit of opening at the top of the waistband here. So that would be even worse if I did size up. Even though these have vertical stretch, they honestly don't have that much. So I wouldn't say they're like the most tall girl friendly. Also, I literally just almost fell out of the bra. So we haven't gotten to the bra yet, but that's definitely a problem with the bra. I think the structure of these, the design of these is really, really good, but the fabric is just not quite doing it for me. In terms of cellulite though, this fabric is a little bit more on the thicker side. It has that marl to it, so we are going to get some cellulite coverage. So let me know what you guys think. Did you guys experience the same kind of tightness in the sculpt seamless? I think it's a slightly different material. I don't know. These are the sculpt seamless. You can see they have little out pouching for the cheeks there. That's the issue with tearaway tags, is that I throw away the tag and then I don't know what the material is. All right, I decided I wanted to do a little side-by-side comparison of the sculpt seamless and the new basic seamless. So I'll insert a side-by-side on the screen. First of all, talking about the waistbands, this is the sculpt seamless. They just have one level of ribbing in the waistband, and the new basic seamless has 2 levels of ribbing. Honestly, I never feel much of a difference from these kind of multi-levels of ribbing, but if you do, it's there. The sculpt seamless has more of a softer seamless feel. The new basic seamless is more of a sleek performance. They both feel pretty durable. I think that the new basic seamless is a little bit thicker. The base material of the sculpt seamless is a little bit more stretchy than the base material of the new seamless, but they both have that same difficulty getting on because of the compressive area of the sculpt seamless. And then obviously the sculpt seamless have the under booty contour. They're just gonna be a little bit more flattering on the glutes. And then the last thing, the back rise and the scrunch is a lot longer on the sculpt seamless. We can see how long that scrunch is. And you can also see where it sits on me in the side-by-side comparison, but the scrunch is much shorter on the new seamless. So sometimes I find the waistband of the sculpt seamless sits almost a little bit too high up on my glutes, like it goes like well over the hip bones. And the new one, the waistband sits right at the top of the hip bones, which is kind of the like ideal place for a waistband to sit for me. So it kind of just depends what you're going for. For both of these, I prefer the shorts over the leggings, but you're definitely going to get a more prominent look with the Sculpt seamless. In addition to the Scrunch leggings, they also have biker shorts. One thing about Lazuli is they're always doing biker shorts. I haven't even seen them come out with short shorts. They love the bikers. So I appreciate them for that because I just can't really wear the super short shorts. So these are basically the same structure as the leggings. We have that 2 layers of compression on the waist. The leggings do blend seamlessly from waistband to the body of the legging. It's not sewn separately. We have that scrunch in the back, and then I measured about an 8.5-inch inseam. So these definitely are a true biker length. Okay, we're gonna get these on together because I showed you the struggles of getting on the leggings, and in general I find this with the Sculpt seamless shorts as well as compared to the Sculpt seamless leggings. They're just easier to get on because there's less of that like fabric stretch issue impeding your ability to get them on. So pulling these up the glutes as they are meant to go, and yeah, the shorts just feel so much better. They just don't fit right for me. I'm definitely much happier with the fit of these. So we're getting a ultra high rise above the belly button. I still feel like the waistband, and this could be a good thing, the waistband is not overly snug. So it's not Alpha Elite Amplify, like snatch your waist tight. It's feeling better than the leggings though, and I don't think I'm getting any gaping. So actually I take it back. I was gonna say I didn't like the waistband, but it's feeling better on these shorts. We have the logo on the front here. They have a little extra length so that you can pull them up the glutes, but then they are still nice and long. So for my thick thigh girlies, my girlies who just like a little more length in their shorts, these got you here. And I'm actually pretty impressed. There is a little tightness at the end of the seam here, but they kept the leg opening big enough that I'm not getting any sausage thighs or really any thigh squishing. So I would definitely say thick thigh friendly. And here's the scrunch in the back. I still don't think the scrunch sits up between the glutes as much as an Amplify. I just feel like we have so much more stretch with the Amplify that you can get that scrunch where it needs to be more. And I still feel like this one almost doesn't sit quite where it should, but it's much better than the leggings. And I would still wear these and I would still recommend them. So I think the shorts are definitely going to be my #1 pick. I also like that this seamless material, although I wish it had more stretch, I like the marl to it, and I like that it's performance. It's very durable. I did wear these to the gym. I wore the leggings with a glute band and there was no damage to them. And it's not something that can snag. Like I can rub my ring across this and no snags at all. So durable material. We've not done booty scale yet, but definitely high on the booty scale. And in terms of compression, honestly, the shorts don't feel quite as compressive as the leggings. I would give these like a medium compression. Really nothing crazy, but definitely holding you in a little bit. And then I don't know if we mentioned the logo here, but just love how subtle that is. I do think it would be nice if they offered multiple lengths of the shorts, but the long short girlies are always left out, so I'm not mad about having just some long shorts. I love that they're always doing the bikers. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, but I think they did a good job on the shorts. And lastly, we have the Y-back bra top. Again, I just don't love the names. It's too many words for me. So these are made of the same seamless material. It blends seamlessly from the body of the sports bra to the under bust area that is a little bit of a vertical ribbing. We do have removable cups. Okay, could be better with the cup pads. Again, sometimes I just feel like there's not enough thought going into the cup pad because this is more of a rounded bra shape. It's not triangle shape. It's not a plunging neckline. So why are we using a triangle cup pad? You know, something oval would work best. Maybe round, but I just don't really get the triangle. And then we're also having some folding in of the edges. So really just not loving the cup pads. Wearing it, it's not a huge problem, but I did notice myself adjusting them a little bit at the gym. The straps are a spaghetti strap that converge in the back, and then they're sewn together. Then we have that same tonal branding with the Lazuli logo in the back. All the seamless is an 89% polyamide, 11% elastane. Okay, here's the sports bra, and I just never find their sports bras to be quite enough for me. We can see here I'm getting some spillage on the side, and this is almost fitting like their halter bra was, except it's not a halter. So I was wearing this during the seated portion and I have not adjusted it since, but we can see that the bottom band is kind of tucked up under my bust, and then it just kind of falls in the back a little bit. So to be where it really needs to be, which would be like this, it just doesn't stay like that for me. The straps just feel too long and they're not adjustable. And I'll never understand this because I am tall with a long torso, but straps just tend to be too long for me. Like, how are my short girlies doing? Are you guys like, do you just have to get your straps adjusted? Like, what are you possibly doing? Because if I'm struggling, I feel bad for everyone else. Anyways, I do like the material of the bra. The straps definitely are getting a little bit uncomfortable with time. They're just that kind of thin spaghetti strap that doesn't have any stretch to it that can definitely cause some issues around the traps there. The coverage, I want to say low to medium. At the gym today, I did have to pull it up pretty constantly. I was kind of getting close to a little nip slip just because I kept wanting to fall out the top here. I didn't have any actual issues, and I still think it is something I could wear, but it's not something that I would really reach for. And the support is pretty light support just because I'm not getting a lot of lift from the straps. Again, the bottom band, you can see it went right back to being tucked under like that. The cup pads are looking nice and smooth now that they're in the bra. And then here's the back. The straps just come together and we have that logo in the back as well. So seamless bras can definitely be a challenge. This one's just not quite fitting me right. I would mostly recommend it for smaller cup sizes. And if you do have a long shoulder torso area to take up these straps, but I think this could be much better if the straps were adjustable. It's also very much like a scooped bandeau style shape. So if that's something that works with you for sports bras, generally I prefer something a little bit more of a V-neck shape, just because that fits my bust shape best. We have a peach appearance. She really wants to go outside. It is getting sunny out. All she does now that we've started enjoying the backyard together is she just begs to go outside. That's all you want. That's all you want, isn't it? Okay, I can't let you out right now. I'm busy. I'm busy. Okay, next we're getting into the pieces from the Essentials launch. So this all launched back in, I think, January. And I got these pieces back then as well. And I just wasn't really enticed to try them on. Like I was saying in the beginning, I like when brands are doing things that are unique, innovative, you know, something that gets me excited. And when I saw these leggings, I was not excited. They are basically a basic legging with no front seam. They call these the V-seam leggings. The seams in the back are honestly pretty flat across. I can't imagine these are even going to be very flattering. And they're just so basic. And if I'm going to have a basic legging, which I have basic leggings that I like, they have to like really do it for me. And this is almost kind of just giving AliExpress basics. Like, what makes this different than a legging I could find on Amazon? Maybe I'll be knocking myself when I try these on and they fit me incredibly. Who knows? But those are my first impressions when holding these up. So anyways, we have a tapered waistband, double thickness waistband, no top band. It's flat across in the front. We have a slightly extended crotch gusset. The fabric is very, very slightly brushed, but it's almost kind of leaning towards a sleek feeling. And then we have the back. These have a pretty short rise back seam, which makes me think these are going to be a legging that you pull up the glutes, or if you just have a very short torso or short hips, honestly, this could be good, but for me, I hope that this seam sits high enough for me. If a seam in the back hits below your hip bones, it generally is not very flattering on the glutes, just because it kind of cuts off the shape of your glutes. And then no side seams, no details down the side. Let's try these on. Okay, as expected, these just aren't special to me. The fabric doesn't feel super unique or high quality. It feels very Amazon, AliExpress. I'm not saying that's where these are from. I don't think that they are, but that's just like, it has a certain fabric feel, and that's what these are giving. These are a high rise, but they hit right at the belly button because the rise in the front and back is so short. I do think that these would slide down over time. I'm not confident in these staying up. They are true to size. They do have a good amount of stretch to them, but even when I move my legs like this, I can feel this waistband pulling down. And you can see in the back here that I had pulled these up the glutes. The seam is sitting, this is where my hip bone is. The seam is sitting in the middle of my glutes, and it's just way too low for me. Like, my entire lower back is out, and that is not something that I'm used to. Even with the rises of leggings decreasing a little bit, this is definitely too short. And when I'm squatting it gets even lower. So yeah, just because these have the shorter back rise seam, there's nothing to keep them there. There's no hidden scrunch, there's no extra waistband hold to really keep them up at the waist, so they just slide right down. And they're a little bit on the sleek side as well, so that also doesn't help with that. So this is where they're kind of meant to be, up high like this, which looks great for a photo, but you move a little bit and boom, they're right back down. So honestly, on the booty scale, I would just give them a medium, just because they have the potential to be high, but you walk around a little bit and boom, they're right back to where they were. These are just kind of a flop to me, unless you are someone with a really short hip back rise here, then these are good for you. And you know, things are good for different body types, so that's why I still review things, even though they may not fit my body. This may fit you, because otherwise the leggings really aren't bad. Cellulite will probably not be a whole lot of coverage, just because these are a little bit on the thinner side here. Overall compression is about a light to medium. These are pretty lightweight. They have a good amount of stretch. The waistband in the front does go a little bit into the lower tummy area, so you do get a little lower tummy control there. I'll put the inseam on the screen at the end, but they're definitely a little bit awkwardly short on me, so probably like a 24-25 inch inseam if I had to guess. And then we have a seam down the middle, but not down the sides. So this is why I just never gotten around to trying these, because I just had a feeling they wouldn't be for me. But let me know what you guys think if you tried these. I always like to get more opinions. Then we have the Minimal V Front Sports Bra. This again to me is very basic, and something about the seams, I don't know, it just is not giving expensive to me. It just seems a little bit basic, which I know it's supposed to be a basic, but even your basics you should be excited about, I feel like. So we do have a V-neck here. There is an elastic that is on the inside of the sports bra, so it gives a nice seamless look. Straight up and down straps that are a little bit on the thicker side, which I like, and they're also adjustable. Very, very subtle logo in the back. Did the leggings even have a logo? The leggings don't even have a logo. I literally don't even see a logo on the leggings. Isn't that kind of weird? That's kind of weird for like a non-Amazon brand. I feel like Amazon brands, they don't really do the logos, but regular brands usually do something. Anyways, to my dismay, holding this up, there were no cup pads in the sports bra. I don't know what it is about brands not including the cup pads, because other brands are doing this too. Because we have room for a cup pad on the side here, but there's actually no pad that they included. Unless I like missed them in some way. I don't know, I don't think I did. But that's kind of a bummer. I did recently order some cup pads on Amazon because brands have been doing this, so maybe I'll try some of those in. We'll see how it goes. Let's try this on. Okay, here's the sports bra. I'm actually pleased with the coverage of this one, but it does run a little bit snug. So you can see I'm being a little bit squished out on the top here. It's just pretty snug throughout the bra, so I would definitely recommend sizing up if you're in between. We have this snug bottom band here, but it's not cutting in. I like that it's giving that seamless look. I like the V-neck as well, and I also like that compared to the other sports bra, these straps are thicker, so they're a little bit softer on the skin. They're not cutting into the traps. And then of course, it's always nice to have the straps being adjustable. We have that subtle logo here. And honestly, if there were cup pads in here, I don't think I would be able to fit in. So if you do have a larger bust, I would suggest sizing up. Overall coverage, I would actually say is medium, and the support is medium as well because I'm being pretty held in. Again, I just don't really think it's worth it to get the sports bra just because it's not, there's nothing about it that I'm truly over the moon about, not super excited about it, and it's not super unique or well-fitting. So it's really just okay for me, but it's definitely not bad. And then we have the jacket. This is called the long sleeve zip front jacket. Again, I just feel like we could be doing, and I'm really nitpicking, but I just feel like we could be doing more with the names. Like, are you never going to come out with another jacket that has a zip front that's long sleeves? Because then it's gonna be a little confusing which one this is. Anyways, we have a BBL jacket here. We have these contouring seams. Looks like it's gonna hit right about at the hips, which I think is a really good length for a jacket. I am definitely excited about this one. We do have long sleeves. We have thumb holes as well. And we have a little mock collar. Unfortunately, there are no zip pockets. I love having a zip pocket in my jacket. That is kind of a deal breaker for me, just because then I can't put anything in my jacket pocket, and I don't always like wearing a legging with pockets. Like, this is like if I'm doing errands or going out for a walk or something. So I would have liked to see a pocket. Very subtle logo on the top here, and then plain in the back. Here's an up close of the logo here. It's very, very subtle. Like, you won't even see it in some lighting. And then this is also the fabric. The fabric on the jacket is feeling more of a sleek performance. Let's try this on. All right. These sleeves are snug. Like oh wow. And that's a tiny little thumb hole. Oh my gosh. I'm actually like, my thenar eminence right now is being pressed out. Okay, these are super tight. So, I mean, I don't have like the skinniest arms in the world. Like, your girl works out, like I have some muscle, but I would expect a workout brand to accommodate for some muscle in the arms. So that's a little bit concerning. Oh, and it's just snug all around. Okay, I mean, I guess it's a BBL jacket, right? It's supposed to like really snatch you, but definitely size up. This is actually quite uncomfortable. And I was kind of excited about this one, so I'm bummed. But anyways, we have that little mock collar, so I'm glad that at least is not super snug on the neck. And given that these leggings are continuing to slide down on me, it's hitting right where the leggings are ending. I'm actually even showing a tiny bit of skin in the back here. With a regular high-waisted legging, it should fit right at the top of the hip bones. So I actually would consider this very slightly cropped. Occasionally we get a jacket that hits at the hip bones or slightly over, and that I would still consider to be a full length, but this one is almost a tiny bit cropped. The thickness of this is actually more of a shirt than a jacket, so it's not going to be a ton of warmth. We do have that full zip, we have those contouring seam lines, we have no front pockets, and then I'll show you my poor little thumb here. Like, do we see how much my thumb is being constricted by this thumb hole? Like, the thumb hole's not big enough. I just think that these are things that could be easily fixed, you know? Like, this is just super uncomfortable. So unfortunately, I will not be able to wear the thumb holes. At least the sleeves are long enough to accommodate thumb holes. So sometimes that's not the case, but the sleeves are super tight. So anyways, sizing, runs very small. Size up. I think the little neutral moment is super cute. And if you like a more lightweight jacket, like you don't live somewhere super cold, you don't need a lot of thickness, it is nice to have lightweight options. And then the back is just very simple. But again, I would definitely be more suited for a medium. It's also very snug along the bust here. I like the length that it's cropped, but not like super, super cropped. Like, you can still wear leggings with it and you're not showing any skin. I think that's nice. But yeah, just the fit is a little bit off for me. And they also came out with some dresses. This is I believe it's the square neck midi dress. Again, it's just like not really giving me anything special. I feel like these activewear brands are always trying to come out with bodycon dresses, and I'm like, are people wearing bodycon dresses that much? Because personally, I just don't always feel comfortable in a bodycon dress. I like something a little more fit and flare, a little more loose. I don't know, but I just don't really see the point in coming out with something so basic. If like what is the selling point, you know? And this is not just to Lazuli, this is for brands in general, but like, I get having basics, but it has to be special in some way, you know, like really long lasting, really high quality, really great fabric, great colors, and I just am not getting that. We have a little square neck in the front here, we have a racer back, clearly a lot of room for hips here, and it's a midi length. And I just feel like, and this is a little up close here, and I don't know, something about it, and let me know in the comments if you agree, but something about it is just not giving expensive. And this is like $47, you know, for a piece of fabric. And I'm just not sure I'm sold, but again, let me try them on. I'm being a little negative in this video. I apologize, but this is how I feel. This is how I feel. Okay, let's try it on. Okay, here's the dress. And I like that the fabric is a little bit on the softer side and stretchy, but it's very much like a cotton stretch material. It's not like a legging material. Like, this is not a material you would see in their leggings, which I feel like is what a lot of the brands do when they do a bodycon dress. But I just don't really think it's doing very much for me. We have the square neckline. I'm just wearing the sports bra underneath, so it's not giving me, you know, any added shape up there. The midi length for me, it's really more knee length, but I am tall, so that's kind of to be expected. I would say that they got the shape down pretty well. I have a little bit of extra fabric in the hip area. I mean, I'm no Kim Kardashian. I don't have the most hourglass figure, so that kind of makes sense. But you know, if you are more hourglass shaped, this does have the room for that, as well as a lot of stretch. I just have a little tiny bit of extra fabric in the back, but I honestly wouldn't even consider it to be a problem. It's not like super loose or anything. And then we just have the racer back, so it's like a little bit more sporty. But yeah, it's not the kind of bodycon dress that's really gonna smooth everything out and hold you in or anything. I definitely feel like the lighter colors, like are that many people wearing bodycon dresses all the time? Because as soon as I eat, like, your girl develops quite the food baby, and that is totally normal, but like, it's just not something I always want to be highlighting when I'm wearing clothes. And like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, normalize, you know, bodies looking normal. Like, my stomach area here is never completely flat, but it's just not the kind of dress I really reach for on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. What do you guys think about bodycon dresses? Are you with me, or do you like them? But I just think for $50, it's just really, it's just not great. It's just not great. Okay guys, that's it for the review. I think Lazuli is doing a lot of things right with their kind of more innovation with their seamless leggings. I like that they're trying different things, but I still think that they're not that new of a brand anymore. This feels like some of the fit issues, fabric issues that a brand should figure out kind of like early on. And since I have reviewed a lot of brands that have started out and improved, I just feel like they should be a little bit further at this point. Like, my thumbs should not be squeezing out of thumb holes. My leggings shouldn't be sliding down this much. And normally, if a legging is sliding down, that's not something you really notice until you wear it to the gym. The fact that I'm noticing this just like sitting and moving around a little bit is just not a good sign. And I still feel like the seamless fabric just could have used a little bit of stretch. If there's one thing I really liked from this review, I really liked the seamless scrunch biker shorts. I thought those were really great. I didn't experience a lot of the issues that I was experiencing with the leggings with those, so I still would recommend those, but I think that would really be the only thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I just think that there's still some kinks to work out with Lazuli, but I really am hopeful for them. Oh, buddy. And we finally have a Pinto appearance. He just had his lunch, and then now he's coming right back up to sit on his little flower catcher. You just love your little catcher. He's such a sleepy boy. You're such a sleepy boy. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed, please be sure to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!